Plenty of praise has been piled on Half-Life 2 over the years, including in many of my previous videos. And well, this new one is going to add a little bit more to that ever-growing heap, because I'm going to be talking about another great Half-Life 2 level, Sandtraps. If you're unfamiliar with Half-Life 2, it's the beloved sequel to the already cherished Half-Life, where you play as Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist who has just woken up from about 20 years of not sleeping on the job, and found that Earth has fallen under the control of an interdimensional alien dictatorship known as the Combine.
Dr. Breen again?
Luckily, you meet up with some old colleagues, and with their help, you might just be able to free Earth from the clutches of these extraterrestrial overlords. Sandtraps falls just after the halfway point of the game, and although the previous chapter, Highway 17, is my personal favorite, I think Sandtraps builds upon what players learn in that level, while also bringing several new exciting twists. So, to set the stage for this level, you've been traveling along a derelict highway after being given the keys to a sweet new ride. The goal is to infiltrate a prison complex that lies at the end of the highway, but there's still some way to go before reaching that destination. The start of Sandtraps is much like the previous level, with you traveling along the highway, clearing roadblocks the Combine have set up, and solving puzzles to remove obstacles from your path. You might be a little relieved that the beaches in this first area don't spawn antlions when you walk on them like in the previous level, but just you wait. Eventually you make it to a resistance base near a lighthouse, and after a prolonged firefight, you get to the saddest part of the Half-Life series. Yes, that's right, you lose the car. This is an absolutely gut-wrenching moment, but nevertheless, Gordon Freeman must press onward. One thing I would like to say is that the lighthouse is kind of weird looking from a distance. When up close I didn't see anything off about it, but I only noticed in my last playthrough that it's oddly short and stubby. It's probably based on a real lighthouse or something, but it's still strange to me. The next section of the level offers a fascinating twist on the previous few hours of gameplay. Faced with the prospect of trekking the rest of the way to Nova Prospect on foot, a sense of dread begins to creep in as you realize the antlions are back. Now, this would be fine if you could just take a path that avoids the sand. Unfortunately, the path ahead is composed of nothing but that awful, coarse substance that gets everywhere. Each time you step on the sand, more antlions appear, and if you aren't careful, they'll overwhelm you. The only way forward is to use the gravity gun to carefully craft stepping stones of refuse across the open areas. It's a change in pace from the rest of the game, which requires patience to pull off. Eventually, you might just get frustrated and run across the sand, killing any antlions that spawn. It's nice to know that Valve lets you do that. I feel like lesser games would make touching the sand instantly kill you. But I like that Valve allows you to make the choice between stealth and fighting. There's even the option later in the level to turn on an anti-antlion thumper, though you can certainly bypass it if you're patient. There's a lot of supply crates hidden along this path, which makes stealthily exploring the nooks and crannies of this section very rewarding. Of course, this quiet section is leading up to a boss fight where you must fight an antlion guardian, a much larger and tougher variant of the bugs you've been encountering for the past hour of gameplay. Once you defeat this beast, you gain the greatest item in the game, bug bait. With bug bait, antlions are now your friends. Squeeze the bug bait and they'll rush to your aid. Toss it at an enemy and they'll do your dirty work for you. I've said it before, but this beautiful reversal of gameplay mechanics marks one of the high points of the Half-Life series. In this next section, instead of being afraid of stepping on the sand and rushing for the safety of thumpers whenever possible, you're now rushing freely across the beach and shutting off thumpers to let the horde of antlions through. I am well aware that antlions aren't the most efficient weapon in the game. Taking out a gun and shooting the combine would probably be easier, but it's just so satisfying to watch as antlions overwhelm the combine defenses. Also, after what we find out the Combine do to them in Half-Life Alyx, this is actually a well-deserved act of revenge on the part of the Antlions. In this section of the game, you clear bunkers of Combine soldiers along the beach. It's kind of reminiscent of D-Day with the way you run up the beach taking cover from machine gun fire and methodically clear out large cement fortresses. There's a lot of fun to be had using the antlions to draw fire away from you while you rush up to the next bunker, grenade in hand. It may be a little cruel, but to be fair, those antlions did put you through hell. I also like the next bit where you climb up a very steep cliff to reach Nova Prospect. It's a nice transitional area of the game, and it's fun watching the antlion AI make sense of the narrow ledges. Next, you sneak through the outer wall of the facility and gain access to a large courtyard with ominous guard towers. This is where the fight gets real, but luckily the antlions start pouring in over the walls and can take out most of the Combine that have seemingly advantageous positions. After that, it's just a drawn-out fight between you and two Combine gunships. I will say the antlions did manage to get in my way almost the entire time I was fighting them, but I can't really get mad at these charming fellas. And folks, that is the level. After that, you enter the Nova Prospect facility and even more challenges await. Maybe I'll talk about that and other levels in the future. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more Half-Life every week. And if you'd like to support the channel, check out our membership tiers, with exclusive videos and polls for you to enjoy.